what comes to my mind that in our society we have a lot of taboo around sex, around talking about sex, around sexuality. Why do you think is that happening?
Why do I think there's a taboo around sexuality?
Like, can I sit with someone and discuss like the sex I had the other night?
Wouldn't that be just lovely?
Yeah, like, and then like in these conversations you can share, and then I could learn something like from your experience,
Yeah.
like what you did and how you enjoyed.
I don't know why there are so many taboos. I do think that there are certain religions that believe that it's not okay to talk about or even do. You know, it's like there's a very narrow channel about, you know, when you're sexual. And I think a lot of it's historical. And it gets passed down from one family, one group to another until it gets narrowed down. Well, we're only going to do it when we want to make a baby. You know, there's that kind of a taboo. And I, you know, I think most people are having sex, actually, and they just don't talk about it because somebody told them, you know, that it's dirty. I just cringe when I hear somebody say, I'm gonna talk about something dirty, and I'm like, it's not dirty.
But people enjoying it.
They love it.
This is
They
like
want
this
more
is
of
joyful and yeah process.
They want more.
I heard people say sex is very intimate to me. That's why I'm not going to talk to you about it.
Well, that they just, I think there's no there's no precedent in our culture that that's okay, and so it's up to those of us that are comfortable. You know, tell me about it. How was your sex last night, Lou? What'd you do? And you want to tell me about it? And you know, I have had conversations like that with people, with my sweetie, and actually, one thing that we did early in our relationship that was, it's intimate, but I'm going to share because I believe in telling things, is after we were sexual, we would talk about the either right after or the next morning, say, well, you know, when you did this, when you stroked me this way, it felt really good, and I really loved it when you did whatever you did, and when you stroked me that way, I felt this energy run through my body, and I felt when you were looking into my eyes, when you were inside of me, that was just, you know, that really, I felt so connected. And to start, we don't in our culture feel comfortable with the language of sex, and so, you know, we talk about down there, we talk about we did it last night, instead of, wow, I had intercourse last night and it was astonishing when he came inside of me or whatever happened.
Yeah.
And or it wasn't astonishing, you know, like, or was disappointing, or
It was a casual sex.
I didn't have an orgasm. Like, damn. I mean, what if we did that? It would indeed make things easier if we could talk about it.
Yeah.
It would stop being such a thing. And it would actually become more accessible to more people.
Yeah, and like a lot of blockages and traumas would relieve when you take it easy, right?
Yeah.
Like having dinner, having sex.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny, you know, we talk at sometimes the metaphor of, you say, went to this amazing restaurant, I had this hors d'oeuvre and it was like this, and then we had a salad and the dressing was so creamy, and oh my gosh, the whatever it was, the steak was so juicy and blah, blah, blah. But do we talk about sex like that? What if we did?
No.
What if we did?
What if we did? Yeah. Like, I feel like I have a lot of questions to my girlfriends, like, how do you get many orgasms?
Yeah.
Or how do you get G-spot, like, ejaculation?
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, whatever, right? I would love to discuss it and, like, to learn more. But I feel like many people not opened.
Start with your friends.
Yeah.
Gather them together. I think it actually helps to create a little special container when you're first wanting to do that. And say, okay, you know, I just really want to know about your sex life. Would you be willing to talk to me about it? And maybe you have one or two. Better maybe to have 3 or 4 people together, so you really are getting different people's ideas. And I don't know, I'm kind of a ritualist, actually. I would create a sacred space. I would have a little centerpiece, or I would call it an altar, and have everybody bring something that felt sensual to them or sexy, and talk about that first. It's easier to kind of ride the wave, so to speak, to not, okay, last night he did this and this to my clitoris and I really liked it, or she did, or whoever did. And like to first actually start to invite people to be more deeply in their body. And you do yoga, so a way to like feel the sensations in your body,
and then to speak from your body experience.
Yeah.